What's going on, everybody? This is Afrothinktank. I want to talk about what I believe cancel culture is and how what effect that's having on society today, and what I believe it really means if you think deeper about it. Right? Cancel culture today and probably always has been basically you drawing a line and you telling people to pick sides, to choose your team. Okay, and everybody does it. Okay, for example, cancel culture. You pick your team and whatever. I'm not gonna say sport or whatever you know, whatever you're fighting against. Whether it be a sports or social justice or political. You pick your team, right? And on your team, you want people who have the same mindset and ideology as you. And you want to make your team as strong and powerful as possible. And you want to have all the elements in your team that can do the things that you need to be successful in whatever it is you do. And when you have people who want to be on your team or people to select, and they have thought processes or ideologies that don't match perfectly with what it is that you want to do or your agenda, then we cancel them quickly, right? Because they're not matching up properly. Like, for instance, in the black community, we have like Kanye West. We have those twins on YouTube. We got Candace Owens. People like that. They're black. They have a different perspective on. They have a different perspective on life and society and how things should be done. And because their different perspective doesn't fit with the Black Power, Black Struggle movement, because it doesn't fit the way we want it to fit, we cancel them because we feel they won't be beneficial to our team, or they don't represent us fully, and they can't, they're not they won't benefit us. So we cancel them. They got to make their own team. They're not on this team. They're not on the Black Power team, even though they are black and they have their own perspective. But we cancel them. All right, you're not on our team. We're not picking you. Okay, you go on another person's team. Right? Everybody does it. The Europeans do it too. Okay, so for instance, Judaism. And let's be clear about one thing. Let's be very, very, very clear, because society, we like to talk in nuances, right? We like to beat around the bush, and we're scared to say certain things. We don't want to defend another team, especially if that team is powerful. All right, Judaism. All right, it's Jews. There is no just so it can be clear, because some people don't even understand this. There is no race of people called Jews. Judaism is a religion. Anybody can be Jewish, okay? So the European Americans and European descendant people who've taken on the identity of Judaism and have been trying to, for years, convince the world that it's an ethnicity, and they continue to say it over and over, and they figure if they say it enough, people will believe it. But any type of research will show that Judaism is not a group of people, but is a religion. Okay, it's not an ethnicity, it's not a race. It's just a religion that people follow. Okay, so but in the European community, you have the Europeans, traditional white Christian, Judeo-Catholic people who wants to cancel the other Europeans, which are the Jewish people, because their agendas don't line up. So they're like, even though they're the same group of people from Europe, originally from Europe, because of historical I guess, because what happened in history, this group that once was pretty much, I guess they were never really monolithic. There's never been a monolithic group of Europeans. They've never been united. There's different type of Europeans, different cultures and traditions and stuff. But as a group of whiteness, they feel like the Jews have kind of like betrayed them or against them. So they cancel them. They're canceled. They're not a part of the white community, but they are white, whether they want to say they're from the Middle East, whatever, just like they are black people who call themselves Jews. And African Americans, we have canceled them as well. Some of us have canceled them because we're like, oh, so you're Jews, you're not African. But we clearly know history. We know you're from West Africa. We know you're West African. Why are you choosing to pick a culture that is not yours in the Middle East to identify with, instead of identifying with your African culture. So we cancel them because you're not on our team, even though you may be a good player, but your agenda is not the same agenda as ours. So we cancel them. Or now we have Christian, the woke community. They now, once you wake up, once you're woke, depending on how long it takes you to figure out what's really going on, we tend to, as black people, instantly want to cancel everybody else who ain't quite woke up yet, like the Christians. So some people wake up within the religions that they pick, and we as woke people, we're like, why are you still holding on to that white man's religion? Or Islam, why are you still holding on to that Asian man's religion, right? So we want to cancel them because they're not on our team, because they're not playing the way we want them to play. So we cancel them. So everybody's canceling everybody who doesn't fit their complete and total agenda. And all that does is create different factions, different groups, even though, a lot of groups, we're all fighting for the same reason. We're all fighting against the same oppressor. At the end of the day, once you ask why this happened, when you keep asking why, and you start to build that historical narrative, you start to build that body of evidence of why, because that's not what you do. You take why and you build that historical, you follow that path, and you'll find the originator. You'll find the original devaluer, the devil, the devaluer. That's what the devil means. The devil means to devalue, because so any human being can be the devil, just like the human beings can be, God, because you are the manifestation of your living being. So you are God. So you're not wrong when you say that. So when you pray, you're really praying to your inner God, that's manifested, through, in his living flesh and whatnot. And people like to pray to that power in many different ways, right? But we cancel each other because we do that. And that could get in the way of progress if we continue to do that. Like, we canceled the LGBTQ community. The LGBT community, they live in the gray, because most society lives in the gray. Everything's not black and white, right? And we cancel them because, straight black pride, the pride of the family. And then we see the LGBT community as a threat to that, because we deem it as not natural in nature, and their agenda does not build families, it does not create life, and it doesn't create the wealth of family. So we want to cancel them because we figure we can't have them on our team, because they're gonna ruin the message, or their agenda is different, because everybody has their own agenda. Okay, but at the same time, if you think about history, if you cancel and make different factions in different camps, you make it hard to fight the battle, because then when you do that, you have to make treaties with different groups. You can't fight this battle by yourself. No battle is fought by themselves. You have to have alliances, and you have to have treaties with other groups that don't quite align with you. That's living in the gray, because most people live in the gray. Things are mixed up, right? So, we can't be so quick to cancel the LGBT community. There's a faction of those people who are in fact black, and they suffer like we suffer, and they hurt, and they have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness like everybody else, right? But at the same time, their agenda, we don't want them to force their specific agenda on the black overall main black community, who want to promote the Trinity, which is the man, the woman, and the child. Okay, we don't want that, But at the same time, we still have the common enemy. We have the common oppressor, right? So, we also have other factions that want to be on our side. Like, you have the Europeans who are woke, and they understand that they've been oppressed this whole time, and they've been tricked and miseducated by the elites to hate us or to be against us, so that we can stay divided, so that the people with powers that be can manipulate us. So we have to ask why. So when you see sometimes a racist person, or a person that seems ignorant, instead of being like, damn, that person's ignorant, that person's the enemy, if we have an opportunity to teach that person, an opportunity to change their mind or educate them so that they no longer can be ignorant, they can be aligned with us and be on our side, against the powers that be. Because ultimately, we can't cancel everybody out if we cancel everybody, then it's just us. Yes, there's a lot of us, but there's different factions, like tribes, right? There's different tribes that have different agendas, and but they all want to prosper. They all agree that politicians are trash. The old politicians are these old men who are greedy, who live in the old world and they wanna continue to gouge the community. We all agree that they're trash and they need to be removed. We all agree that most of our countries, whether you're from in the black community, whoever your leaders are not taking care of the people. And we all agree that we want to prosper, that we need development, that we need job opportunity, that we need opportunity for businesses, that we need opportunities to thrive. And sure, there's always going to be the elite and the politicians that do their dirt, but at the same time, when they do their dirt, they need to have at least a little bit of patriotism towards their people or their country, and at least take care of their people. And if they did that, and if it was smart and they did that, then the people would be happy, and they probably wouldn't care too much what these politicians do in their world, right? So we as black people, we need to not be so quick to cancel people with different opinions. If they are fighting on our side, if they're for us, we can fight to a certain extent. You know, as black people, we have our in-house issues and we have our outside issues. If we keep fighting and canceling everybody inside the house, and we keep fighting and we keep burning up our rooms, you know, and we keep staying distracted about our internal issues without thinking about what's happening outside, because we have a whole mob that's trying to steal our house. So while we're fighting inside, there's a whole mob that's trying to steal our house. They don't care about black LGBT. They don't care about black Muslim, black Christian, black Judaism. They don't care about those divisions. All they see is one group of black people who are dangerous and who are economically and socially taking over what they deem is theirs, what they earned, what they took back, what they conquered. They conquered the world. That's an achievement. All right, that's their achievement. They're proud of that. And now that world that they've created through the means that they've created, you know, terror, destruction, rape, murder, you know, but that's what they used. That was the ingredients they used to destroy Native Americans and then enslave Africans and then subjugate Asians, okay? All around the world. They did that. Okay, so now we need to undo that. And the only way we're gonna undo that is we take a step before we're quick to cancel somebody. We ask, why are we canceling them? What's the reason? Let's be smarter than an enemy. We know that their whole theme is divide and conquer. It's the oldest trick in the book. You divide your enemy, let them fight amongst themselves, then you conquer them because they're now smaller and less united. Okay, you have to keep that in your mind. You know, you don't have to agree with your allies to be allies with them. You don't have to agree with them 100%. You don't. And you have to, you know, because if you think that everybody's going to be is Muslim, if everybody's going to be a Christian, or everybody's going to be Hotep, they're going to pick up the Eastern African religions, or everybody's going to go back to being traditional African religions, we're sadly mistaken. We're asking for something that's never going to happen. Okay, we need to unite with our brothers and sisters, despite whatever their belief systems are. As long as we together in this war, and we put it in our minds that we're going to fight together, we're going to fight our common enemy. And when we secure our life, liberty, and our pursuit of happiness, then we can deal with our differences on the outside in a responsible way. Because everybody deserves the ability to live. And this goes for people who are polygamous as well. If it's okay for a man and a man to get married, if it's okay for a woman and a woman to get married, if a man wants to marry 2 or 3 wives and he can take care 2 or 3 women and he can take care of them and he can benefit them and that union work for them, they should be allowed to do it legally anywhere. Anywhere the LGBT community is allowed to marry, they should be allowed to do the same thing. So, you know, that's just my position on the matter. So that's all I wanted to say. We gotta control our cancel culture, and some people deserve to get canceled because they're toxic. There's a lot of black people who are toxic to the black community, and we need to make sure that we get rid of them and that they're not on our team. They can make their own team over there, and if we gotta fight them, we're gonna fight them too. But this is just a thought I had. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.